I'm Etnolog historist Aytaç Bozkuyu. Scientific studies about Celts. Celts, who came to Ankara in Anatolia in the 7th century BC in northwest Europe, left important traces in terms of world cultural history. The Celts are a nation that spread throughout Europe and even traveled to Scandinavia in the north, to Great Britain in the west of Europe, and even to the Iberian Peninsula, and influenced the culture of many tribes. We have said that the Celts came to Anatolia in the 7th century BC. For this reason, the Celts in Anatolia called Turkesia. The Celts became the first people that the name of Anatolia in Turkey. So what does Turkesia mean in Celtic? It means fertile land. When we look at the cultural distribution of Celts in Anatolia, the place you call Galata, namely the Galata district in today's Istanbul, is the Celts in the Quran. In the 5th century BC, Herodotus mentions the Celts, but European historians put the Celts in such a strange place that they see the cities as a tribe that emerged in Central Europe from unknown origin. I think European historians are very wrong, even not objective. However, the Celts are a tribe that spread from the north of the Black Sea to Western Europe. I think my European colleagues have an idea to hide the true origins of the Celts. When we look at the understanding of the graves of the Celts, we come across kurgans, which we also see among the Central Asian Turks. However, there is no kurgan tradition in Europe before the Celts from Europe. The formation of European nations takes the 8th century AD. In the Celtic belief, we see the life after death. They put their personal belongings inside the kurgans. Even bottles were found in their graves. This style reflects the Asian tomb understanding. To call Celts Asians does not directly mean Turkish. If we look at the cultural data, it would be a scientific approach to say that it is connected with Turkish culture. European historians say Celts exist in European culture, but they were not like modern Europeans. In the Roman Empire, the Celts were considered as a barbarian tribe. The Celts often encountered the Roman Emperor Caesar. In the Great War, they fought with Caesar. The city leader Vercingetorix was defeated and fell at the feet of Caesar's horse. He asked Caesar for forgiveness with his hands tied behind his back. Celts, not used to defeats, came to Anatolia in 278 BC as mercenaries. Their number, together with their families, reached 20,000. They entered the area with a convoy of 2,000 cars. Celts adopted the name Galatian, used in Celtic for warrior tribes. In 335 BC, Celtic ambassadors appear before Alexander on the banks of the Danube. Alexander the Great asks them what they fear the most. According to Strabo, the envoys give the following answer: "We are afraid that the god or the gods will destroy the sky on our heads. Caesar is corrupt." The belief of the Celts is the nature cult seen in the Turks. Some European historians appear to have the kurgan tradition of the Celts. Although there are no written texts on this subject, it is understood from the sources of other civilizations. European historians do not have a complete knowledge of Kurgan and ancestor culture. In this respect, it is the peoples of Asia who can best understand the Celts. So where could the Celtic people come from? The Scepheans, who lived in the period of the Celts, dominated the Black Sea from the north to the west. We know the wars of the Scepheans with the Celts. Celts are not a race or a single culture. Like the Turks, they were organized in tribes. The tomb of a Celtic girl dating back to 500 BC was found in 2006. It was a grave of a 35-year-old woman called the Lady of Wigs. We come across small statuettes that the Turks call balbal and put in the graves in this tomb. Balbal is roughly hewn stones in Turks. From the middle of the 1st century BC, the Celts in Gaul worshipped some important deities and portrayed them in human form. Among these gods, there was a healing god, a war god, a sky god, and the goddess of arts, crafts, and war. The most well-known god was Mercury, who, in Caesar's words, was seen by the Celts as the inventor of all arts, their guide in their travels, their chiefs in making money and trade, and also called by Caesar by his name in Rome. But the name given to Mercury in Gaul was definitely Lugos. The name given to Lugos, worshipped throughout the Celtic world, differed little. Mother goddesses are also very important in the Celtic belief and have different names. These goddesses, often called mothers, are often portrayed as groups of 2 or 3 women. Druids are described as Celtic priests. The origin of the word druid, deru, means to be firm, solid, stable. They played a role in many social events. Druids were polytheists who considered the elements of nature, such as the sun, moon, and stars sacred, and revered oak, mountain peaks, rivers, and even some plants. They used the Ogham alphabet in the form of a secret encryption technique, which was developed by themselves and formed by the letters of vertical and horizontal pencil strokes, which is a very old alphabet. The signs, called Ogham, are specific to Celts and are a type of ciphertext. Oghams had a symbolism beyond writing. Symbolism is very diverse in Celtic teachings. Each sign could also correspond to a tree or an animal. The main belief the Druids wanted to teach was that spirits do not die and pass from one person to another after death. This belief eliminated the fear of death. In Celtic myths, he claimed that the soul passed from body to body and continued its existence in various patterns. One of the most important teachings of the Druids was on the immortality of the soul. As the Roman poet Lucan says in his poem, which he assumes to speak to a Druid community, "You are the one who says that the shadows of the dead are not after neither the peaceful lands nor the halls of the god of the dead, but instead you speak of the same soul having a body in other realms. And death, if what you say. If it's true, it's a point in the middle of a long life." As a result, the Celts are not a European nation, but a North Asian people.